Alrighty guys, it's Drake Rick here. We're going to talk about some NBA news. Jabari Parker signs with the Chicago Bulls on a 2-year, $40 million deal, league sources tell ESPN. Wojnarowski reported this, and they were working towards the deal. They're progressing, as people would say on Twitter. The Bulls were progressing towards the deal, and then 12 to 15 hours later, Jabari Parker was announced that he was officially a Bull. Bulls fans were excited because they felt like that the Bulls should have gotten Michael Porter Jr. instead of Wendell Carter, but now they got the wing position filled with Jabari Parker. And the second year is a team option, so this is good for the Bulls. You might think that they're overpaying injured player, but if he is injured again through the season, they probably will decline the team option. So I wouldn't get too worried about that. If he does end up not working out, then the most they're paying is $20 million. And they'll still have some good cap space even with Jabari going into next free agency. So when we look at the scenario, like team-wise and how they can do, this is obviously a nice pickup for the Bulls if Jabari Parker turns out to be what he was supposed to be 4 years ago. Ever since he was picked second in the draft, this is a good pickup for the Bulls. I mean, when you look at his talent offensively, he's got so much talent with his post game and what he can do mostly inside of the three-point shot. He can create his own shot. People look at him as a younger Carmelo Anthony, his size and what he can do to create his shot, and he is a very athletic player. He can throw the ball down. He was one of the most athletic players in his draft, along with Andrew Wiggins. So when I think of who's better right now, it's pretty much neck and neck. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, I know that he was with Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns, so he kind of had to share the ball. But Jabari Parker, he's looked solid when he hasn't been injured. He's known how to create a shot. The Bucks let him go because they felt like they didn't want to deal with any more of his injuries, and I kind of understand that. I do not blame the Bucks for that. They have to build around Giannis. I feel like another reason why it didn't really work out because they put Jabari at the power forward position. I think he would fit well at the small forward position, so that's another benefit for the Chicago Bulls because they have Lauri Markkanen there at the power forward position. Now we look at this is the big trade here. We got Kawhi Leonard going to the Toronto Raptors, and he's going to go to the Toronto Raptors along with Danny Green, which both are with Danny Green. He's a nice player, so the Raptors also get him. So that is very good there. But the Raptors had to give up DeMar DeRozan, a 2019 first round protected. It's 1 through 20, and Jakob Poeltl, a very nice young center. I think the Spurs can definitely build around him he's definitely a building block for the future. If DeMar DeRozan doesn't really work out and he wants to leave, he could be a nice building block in a rebuild because he's shown off the bench. He was part of the best bench in the NBA, so I wouldn't be surprised if they would want to build with him. And they also get a 2019 protected first-round pick. With Kawhi Leonard, they'll probably fall out of the top 20. The Raptors will, so I wouldn't worry for the Spurs. I think they'll get that first-round pick. If they don't, oh well. It's really just goes. If they do, then it's a nice pick. It's a first-round pick, but if they don't get it, it's oh well. It's just it's probably going to fall. If it does go to the Raptors, then it's probably going to be like 17 to 20, something like that. So it's not really that much of a good pick. But when you look at that trade, I definitely think that the Spurs definitely got a lot out of that trade. They did get DeMar DeRozan, a nice, I don't think he's a superstar, but he's definitely a star. He's definitely a perennial all-star. I think he'll get another all-star year next year, so that's always good. And you still have Marcus Aldridge there, and you bring in Jakob Poeltl. Maybe you can put him in as your starting center over Pau Gasol because of his deal. He's getting a little bit older, and that's just a really good trade for both sides. I mean, now when we look at the Raptors' perspective, Kawhi Leonard I saw on Twitter, Chris Haynes said that reportedly Kawhi Leonard has no desire in Toronto. So, I mean, that tells me, if they want to be, the Toronto Raptors knew that they weren't going to win a championship with the roster that they had, so they needed to go out and get Kawhi Leonard. With LeBron gone, they could probably go to the Western Conference Finals even. I wouldn't be surprised by that, but that's probably how far they're going to get with Kawhi Leonard. But they've thought, we're not going to win this season with DeRozan just DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, and Valanciunas and Serge Ibaka. So we're going to go out and get Kawhi Leonard, who is pretty much on a whole new level than DeRozan. So we're going to go out and get him and try to do as much as we can in one season. If we cannot win the finals, then I've heard that they're probably going to start a rebuild if Kawhi is gone. But if they can re-sign him, that would be great for the Toronto Raptors. What a steal that would be for the Toronto Raptors if they would re-sign him. Because if they do get Kawhi Leonard, they're probably going to have to pay a lot for him. But he's only going to be 28 this year, and that's still pretty good. Overall, this Toronto Raptors, San Antonio Spurs, Kawhi Leonard trade is good for both sides if the Raptors can re-sign Kawhi Leonard. But right now, the Spurs did pretty good, but Toronto Raptors ended up with Kawhi Leonard. So, I mean, and the Spurs ended up with DeMar DeRozan, which I thought was more. More that they should have gotten, honestly. I mean, not should have, but I thought that was more than what was thought they were going to get, because Kawhi Leonard, his value isn't good. I mean, because he said that he wanted to go to the Lakers, yet they still gave up DeMar DeRozan. So the Spurs, they lucked out. They lucked out with DeMar DeRozan. So that was good. If Raptors can re-sign Kawhi Leonard, that'd be great, but if they can't, they're probably going to go back into rebuilding mode, probably trade away Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, and then probably build around the younger guys like Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell. Well, maybe not Norman Powell, but probably start with Fred VanVleet. So, there you go with that. We'll see you guys next time.